There are beings older than empires, creatures who do not bow to kings because they choose kings. They ride between heartbeats, between the moment a warrior draws breath and the moment he never will again. They do not come for the living, they come for the worthy. Tonight, you will meet them, the Valkyries, and you will never forget what they truly were. Welcome to Echoes Beyond Time, where forgotten myths and ancient legends rise again. Today, we step into the storm, into a world where death is not an end, but a destiny. This is the untold story of the Valkyries, the immortal riders who choose the slain. Before the world had a name, before the first blood stained the first snow, Odin stood at the edge of creation and spoke a single word. From that word came them, not born, willed into being. The poetic Edda does not call them servants, it calls them extensions, fingers of the All-Father's hand, reaching into the mortal realm to grasp what even gods cannot touch, the moment of death. Each Valkyrie was not a woman in armor. She was a concept given form. Sigrun, victory itself. Gundel, the storm before the silence. Hilda, the choice between eternity and dust. They were not sent to comfort the dying. They were sent to judge them. Forget the paintings, forget the wings, forget the fantasy. In the oldest carvings, the oldest whispers, the Valkyries was something else entirely. Skin pale as corpse light, hail blur, voices like iron scraping stone, eyes that didn't see you, they saw through you to the warrior you could have been. They were not beautiful, they were inevitable. When they appeared on the battlefield, warriors did not cheer. They trembled, because the Valkyries did not take orders. They did not wait for the battle to end. They decided when it would. A glance, and you were marked. A raised spear, and your fate was sealed. The battlefield didn't belong to generals. It belonged to them. Close your eyes. You're on a frozen field. Blood mixes with snow beneath your feet. The man beside you collapses. You keep fighting, because to stop is to die a coward's death. Then the air cracks. Not with lightning, with presence. The Valkyries descend not from the clouds, but from somewhere else, somewhere between thought and nightmare. They don't speak your language, but you understand. One points, not at you, at the warrior beside you, the one who fell 5 seconds ago, whose name you'll forget by morning. She kneels, touches his forehead, and he rises, not in body, but in something beyond it, a shape of light and shadow, lifted from the carnage, eyes wide with recognition. He's been chosen. You have not. You fight on. You survive. But he rides with gods now. And you will never be sure if you were brave enough. Here's the secret most never hear. The Valkyries weren't taking souls, they were recruiting. Every warrior lifted to Valhalla became one of the Einherja, Odin's army for Ragnarok, the day the gods themselves would burn. This was not kindness, it was stratagem. The Valkyries were drafting soldiers for a war that hadn't happened yet, a war that, according to the Eddas, still hasn't happened, which means somewhere in a hole beyond time, warriors you've never heard of are training, waiting for the horn to sound, for the sky to split, for the final battle. And the Valkyries, they're still choosing. Some names refuse to fade. Brunhild, who loved a mortal and defied Odin himself, choosing damnation over duty. Gundel, the kingmaker, who whispered in the ears of rulers and made empires rise or fall with a single choice. Skundal, the shaker, who didn't just choose warriors, she fought beside them, her spear carving fate into flesh.
Hilda, the reviver, who could resurrect the fallen mid-battle, forcing him to fight forever in an eternal, blood-soaked dance. These were not footnotes. They were forces of nature given names, and their stories didn't end when the Vikings did. The longships rotted, the temples crumbled, the old gods were buried under new ones, but the Valkyries, they never left. You see them in every story about warriors who transcend death, in every tale of a hero chosen by destiny, in every myth where courage is rewarded by something greater than survival. They are the origin of the idea that some deaths are not endings, they are beginnings, that the worthy are seen, that sacrifice is not forgotten, that somewhere beyond the veil there are forces watching, judging, choosing. The Valkyries are not ancient history. They are the story we keep telling ourselves when we need to believe that bravery matters, that facing death with honor means something, and that we are more than dust. The next time you hear thunder on a clear day, look up. They might be riding. They might be watching you. And if you ever feel a presence in the space between your heartbeats, it might not be your imagination. This is only the beginning. Subscribe. The myths are waking.